A teenage boy wakes up inside a dark, metallic elevator that's rapidly moving upward. He's terrified, disoriented, and worst of all, he remembers nothing. Not his name, not his past, nothing. The elevator suddenly grinds to a stop. The ceiling opens and blinding light floods in. A group of teenage boys peer down at him, shouting and cheering. They pull him up into a huge open field surrounded by massive stone walls that stretch hundreds of feet high. The boy has no idea where he is. The others tell him this place is called the Glade. It's a strange community built by boys just like him. Each one brought here the same way, with no memory of who they are, only their names, which eventually come back after some time. Their leader, Albie, explains that everyone has a job to keep the Glade running. Builders, farmers, medics, cooks, and most importantly, runners. The brave few who venture out every morning into the maze that surrounds them, searching for a way out, but they must return before nightfall. Because when the doors close at sunset, something deadly roams inside. That night, the new boy tries to fit in but can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. While wrestling with another boy named Gally, a flash of memory hits him. His name, Thomas. Later that day, chaos breaks out. A boy named Ben, one of the maze runners, comes staggering out of the maze, covered in wounds, screaming in pain. He's been stung by a terrifying biomechanical creature called a Griever. The sting drives people insane, and there's no cure. Following the rules, the Gladers banish Ben into the maze to die that night. The next morning, Albie and Minho, the lead runner, go into the maze to retrace Ben's steps and look for clues. But by dusk, only Minho returns, dragging a barely conscious Albie. The doors begin to close before they can make it back. Without thinking, Thomas runs into the maze, just as the walls slam shut behind him. He's trapped inside with the monsters. As darkness falls, the maze comes alive. Grievers emerge from the shadows, their metallic limbs clicking and hissing. Thomas and Minho run for their lives, carrying Albie through twisting corridors. Thomas lures a Griever into a narrow passageway just as the walls shift, crushing it to death. They survive the night. When the sun rises and the doors open, the Gladers can't believe their eyes. No one has ever survived a night in the maze before. Then, the elevator alarm rings again, but this time, it's a girl. Her name is Teresa, and she's the first girl ever sent to the Glade. She's holding 2 syringes of a mysterious blue serum. When she sees Thomas, she gasps. She knows him, but Thomas has no idea who she is. Days later, Minho and Thomas return to the maze to investigate the dead Griever. Inside its mangled body, they find a strange mechanical device with a blinking light, almost like a key. Back in the Glade, Gally accuses Thomas of breaking the balance between the Gladers and the maze, claiming his actions brought the Griever's wrath. But Newt, Albie's second in command, stands up for him. Instead of punishment, Thomas is promoted to runner. Minho shows Thomas a huge model of the maze he's built from memory. The walls move in a pattern, a code. Thomas realizes the device they found corresponds to one of the maze's numbered sections. Meanwhile, Teresa uses 1 syringe on the dying Albie, and miraculously, he recovers from his Griever sting. Thomas and Minho take the other device back into the maze, following its signal. They discover a hidden exit door, but before they can return to tell the others, everything changes. That night, the maze doors stay open. Hundreds of Grievers pour in. A full-scale massacre erupts as the Gladers fight for their lives. Albie, Zart, and several others are killed. The survivors huddle in fear as Thomas blames himself. Furious and desperate for answers, Thomas intentionally stings himself with a Griever's tail. He collapses, writhing in pain, until the others inject him with the last syringe of antidote. Unconscious, flashes of memory return. Thomas and Teresa once worked for the organization that built the maze, called WCKD, pronounced Wicked. The Gladers are part of an experiment designed to find a cure for a deadly disease ravaging the planet. When Thomas wakes, he confesses everything to Newt, Minho, Chuck, and Teresa. "We did this," he says. "We helped create the maze." But before they can plan their next move, Gally, now obsessed with order, declares that Thomas and Teresa must be sacrificed to the Grievers to restore peace. Refusing to obey, a group of Gladers break Thomas and Teresa free. Together, they make a final push toward the maze exit. Grievers attack from every side, tearing through the group. Many die, but the survivors press on, fighting to reach a laboratory filled with dead scientists. A video flickers to life on a screen. A woman named Ava Page, head of WCKD, appears. She explains that Earth was destroyed by massive solar flares and a deadly virus known as the Flare. The maze was an experiment. These kids were chosen to help humanity find a cure. On screen, Ava lifts a gun to her head and shoots herself as chaos erupts behind her. Suddenly, Gally stumbles in, pale, shaking, and holding a gun. He's been stung. His mind is breaking. "We're not supposed to leave," he screams, aiming at Thomas. Minnow hurls a spear, impaling Gally through the chest. But as he falls, Gally's gun fires. The bullet hits Chuck, Thomas's closest friend. Chuck dies in Thomas's arms. Moments later, armed men in black storm the lab, yelling for them to come. They pull the surviving Gladers into a helicopter and fly away. Through the window, Thomas sees a world in ruins, a vast desert wasteland, burned by the sun. As they fly toward a ruined city, the scene shifts. Back to that same scientist, Ava Page, alive and well, meeting with officials. She calmly says the experiment was a success. The survivors are now entering phase 2. The Maze Runner 2014 ends on that haunting note, revealing that the nightmare is only beginning.